Hello everyone, we're bringing you the Mannequin of the Month today for November 2021. As usual, the topic we're going to talk about today was picked via a poll over on Patreon. The corporal tier over there get to vote on the topic that's going to be covered each month. And the topic for this month is looking at the kit of a British infantryman in San Savino in Italy in 1944. The photographs that this is based on were taken in San Savino in 1944, hence the sort of very specific location. The kit worn by British troops in Italy varies quite considerably depending on time of year, the unit, the actual period during the Italian campaign. So it's very important to look at specific units if you're recreating a British soldier in Italy, or at least look at particular times of year. Battle dress was worn, obviously stripped down uniform. You have here the shirt and the cardigan, the pullover over the top. You see khaki drill uniform as well. Obviously you have war raid. US war raid was quite heavily used quite extensively used in Italy. The war raid battle dress, obviously American shirts turn up, war raid khaki drill uniform as well. So there's a real mix, and it's important to research exactly what you're trying to recreate. As I say, this is based on a British infantryman in San Savino in 1944. Talking about the kit and uniform on the mannequin in a bit more detail, we'll start at the top as we normally do. We have here the standard Mark II steel helmet, and this has just been covered with a helmet net. No hessian or anything, quite common to see in Italy, just worn with a helmet net like this, as you can see. Underneath that we have the khaki flannel shirt, the collarless shirt, the standard British issue wool shirt. As I say, American shirts were common to see as well. And as a concession to the heat, not wearing full battle dress, concession to comfort, wearing the cardigan over the top of that, the pullover, woolen pullover. As I say, shirt sleeve order was also seen as well. Obviously it can be very hot in the summer in Italy, and actually up in the mountains and in the winter it can be very cold and wet. So the variation in uniform is partly explained by the seasonal variations in the temperature and so forth, which were more extreme in Italy than say Northwest Europe. The web equipment carried is a standard 1937 pattern. You can see this is in somewhat careworn condition. In a suitable colour for Italy. Very common to see it in a khaki or a drab finish, as opposed to the greener black colours of Blanco used in Northwest Europe. And we also have extra ammunition carried and bandolier, as you can see there. This is worn in a stripped down fighting order. The haversack has been removed, which is quite common to see men on patrol and so forth. It allows us to see here the simplified version of the braces which are being used here with the equipment. During the Second World War, large numbers of manufacturers were brought into manufacturing webbing who hadn't previously manufactured it. So the Mills Equipment Company came up with a neat way of manufacturing these with reduction weaving. The 2-inch strap, which spreads the weight over the shoulder, just necked down neatly to a 1-inch strap coming down to buckle onto the pouches. In this instance, these are a simplified version that could be manufactured by other companies, and it's just 2 1-inch sections, one up front and one up back, stitched onto a 2-inch section, which passes over the shoulder there, so it's made in 3 parts rather than being one continuous woven brace. And there's a pair of those worn here. The ammunition pouches, the basic pouches rather, are standard Mark II basic pouches, and the web belt there is a standard 1937 pattern webbing belt. There's nothing really special to talk about there. Obviously the basic pouch is carrying brain gun magazines, it carry grenades, bandoliers full of ammunition for the rifle in charges. You can see an extra one of those carried there. Quite common to see, particularly when we're out on patrol. So that's the front of the mannequin. We'll start moving this around now and have a look at some of the other details. Looking at the right hand side of the mannequin here, if we lift the arm out of the way, you can see here we have the water bottle, the enamel water bottle in its felt cover, carried inside the longer sleeve type water bottle carrier. Again, a simplification of the design. There's a lot less to manufacturing one of these than there is to making one of the frame or skeleton type water bottle carriers, stitching all the straps together. And originally these were a little bit shorter. The webbing section around the middle of the bottle there wraps around the bottle, and later production they're enlarged like this. So it's a later example of the sleeve type water bottle carrier there. And you can just see the bandolier coming round here carrying 303 ammunition, as I say, in charges, 5-round charges, ready to load into the rifle. Looking at the rear of the mannequin here, you can see the braces coming down and crossing the back here without the haversack. It's easier to see the details of this. And you can see the construction again with that 1-inch strap just stitched onto the 2-inch strap running over the shoulder there. They cross in the rear here, there is a loop, so they are captive in the centre there. And then buckling onto the back of the 1937 pattern belt there with the buckles and shapes attached to the back of the belt. Standard 1937 pattern web equipment, essentially. And finally, looking at the left hand side of the mannequin here, if we lift the arm out of the way, you can see here the sword bayonet for the rifle number 1 Mark III Star. So this chap is still carrying the rifle number 1 Mark III Star, as opposed to the number 4. The number 4 was beginning to appear in Italy in numbers. Well, it certainly was beginning to replace the rifle number 1. But in Italy at this time, as in the Far East, it's still very common to see a mix of the two rifles. So as I say, this chap's still carrying the number 1 Mark III and the corresponding 1907 sword bayonet. So there we are. I hope you found it interesting looking at this. Something I didn't mention at the start, but I will mention now, is I'm using some new equipment for this video. The lighting isn't great, so I've done my best with that. I need to work out some lighting for in here, particularly over the winter months, so hopefully that will be improving soon, and my apologies for that. Up to this point, I'm trying to improve things. New audio recording equipment, new camera. Very big thanks to my dad providing with that as a birthday present, delayed by COVID, unfortunately, of meeting up and so forth initially. But thank you very much indeed for that, Dad. It's hopefully going to improve the quality of videos going forward. And as I say, hopefully you found it interesting looking at this this mannequin today. As I say, in spite of the poor lighting conditions and so forth, I am hoping to improve that as well going forward. But as I say, British Infantryman, Savino, Italy, 1944. If you have found this interesting and you'd like to see more from the channel, please do consider subscribing if you haven't already. And whether you're newly subscribing or you've previously subscribed, please do make sure you hit the little bell, the notification button down below. That will of course alert you when I upload future videos. If you really like my uploads and you would like to support the channel, you can. Both Patreon and PayPal are linked down below. And as said earlier in the video, the corporal tier over on Patreon, the opportunity to vote each month on the topic that's going to be covered. There's generally 3 options, and there's an opportunity to vote over there on which one you would like to be covered. If you'd like to follow the channel on social media, you can. Facebook, Instagram and Twitter are all linked down below, and of course there will be photographs of this posted up over there as well. If you'd like to get in touch but you don't really use social media, there's an email address down below in the description as well. That's everything for this video, so until next time, bye for now.